Those who follow the news as it relates to climate change on a regular basis are aware and ultimately concerned that the weather is becoming more unpredictable and more bizarre with each passing day. As an example of the changes we are now confronted with, let's look at the weather patterns and climate conditions for the NOAA and the World Meteorological Organization provide no meaningful explanation for sudden drastic climate change. Ostracized scientists and whistleblowers attribute these Earth changes to Nibiru, said to be a brown dwarf star with 7 orbiting planets rapidly approaching our inner solar system. According to recent non-established reports, Dr. Ethan Trowbridge, a former USGS climatologist who supervised the geomagnetism program and the core sciences division of this agency, blames climate discrepancies on Nibiru's proximity to our planet. According to Trowbridge, Nibiru is no myth. It is real and it is here. The USGS has secretly monitored Nibiru's approach for some 3 decades now, conveniently covering up its existence and influence on our planet with a mountain of misinformation, like blaming climate shift on greenhouse gases. Dr. Trowbridge cites a leaked USGS memo as evidence of Nibiru's influence on Earth. This memo, showing here, demonstrates a significant deviation from established weather in the northeastern United States. If all information is accurate, this forecast depicts a dangerous rise in median temperatures along the eastern seaboard. Many noteworthy scholars have argued that even a worldwide 3-degree shift will destabilize the Earth's atmosphere and plunge this planet into another ice age with a resulting pole shift. Do you know who this man is? His name is Damir Zakharovich. He is a Russian astronomer and former scientific advisor to Vladimir Putin. Earlier this year, he divulged information about the dark star to Pravda, and now has to operate from the shadows for fear of being blacklisted. He recently indicated that the drastic changes that are occurring across the globe, and especially this year in the United States, depends on the movement of Planet X, which is consistently moving, and the changes here on Earth fluctuate with the movement of this planet in our solar system. He further explains that the planets around the brown dwarf orbit this dark star. The precise position of the planets and the system itself dictate how the Nibiru system impacts Earth at any given moment in time. As it grows close, changes will be more widespread and pronounced. In recent months, a growing number of whistleblowers have come out to speak publicly about the arrival of Planet X. The USGS is believed to be one of those government agencies that is actively engaging, along with NASA, to conceal Nibiru's existence and to blame drastic climate changes on man-made events like over-reliance on fossil fuels and releasing chlorofluorocarbons into the atmosphere, rather than attribute Earth changes to Nibiru's proximity to our planet. The United States Geological Survey has known for many years that Antarctica would be ravaged by the approach of this system. This is because Nibiru is on an elongated elliptical orbit relative to our southern hemisphere. So people living in this part of the world would see Nibiru first, and they shall also be the first to experience whatever Nibiru brings with it. And it's not bringing anything good. The Ronnie ice shelf will likely break off the continent and drift into the Weddell Sea. This will cause enormous icebergs to drift toward New Zealand. As the ice reaches warmer waters, it will rapidly melt, causing a significant rise in sea levels. To give you an idea of the significance of such an event, if it were to take place, and recent data from these locations suggest that this is happening now and at an accelerated rate. Take a look at this video of what our future continents may look like. The Ross Ice Shelf, the world's largest at 487,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of France, may also separate from the continent, causing mountainous clusters of ice to flow south towards New Zealand and Australia. Polar storms, unlike any the world has seen, will ravage the continent in conjunction with a marked increase in seismic and volcanic activity. Mount Sippel, one of Antarctica's largest active volcanoes, is certain to erupt, sending a plume of deadly ash into the atmosphere. This will be the start of a pole shift. Large earthquakes will ripple across the continent. Add to that multiple super eruptions. This will shake Antarctica to its very foundation. And this is just the beginning. What happens in Antarctica is merely a precursor for what will happen across the entire globe. The devastation will start there, then rapidly spread. Scientists who are aware and who know of this approaching system have indicated that those living in the southern hemisphere will be the first to witness its destruction, but that those who live in the northern hemisphere should be prepared for what's coming, as the geography of North America will be forever changed by the rising sea levels and tsunamis that will affect all three coastlines of the United States. Those living in large metropolitan areas near coastlines will be affected in unimaginable ways by these drastic changes, as the coastlines of the United States will be several hundred miles inland from their current locations. It may be interesting to note that this data matches warnings issued by other Nibiru whistleblowers and researchers. Renegade astronomer Paul Cox and Nibiru enthusiast John Moore have released maps depicting North America's post-Nibiru coastlines. I know this all sounds horrible and almost unbelievable. This depiction is what we would call a perfect nightmare scenario for millions of people. But it is important that you remember one thing above all else. Humans have a strong desire to survive. So, although lives will be changed in the blink of an eye by what approaches, life will continue on this planet in one form or another, as it always has. I would like to direct your attention to a few very intriguing images and videos that I received just recently. Now, I would encourage you to continue sending your images and video captures to our Facebook page at the address shown here. You can also send them private email on our YouTube account by clicking on the About icon located on our channel page shown below. The first image captured from the Soho Imaging website on September the 16th is showing a massive object just below the ecliptic plane, which is shaped similar to a comet. Now, if we enlarge this object, you will notice that immediately behind this giant comet-like object is a trail of debris, meteors, and asteroids, and then a cluster of planets and smaller objects following in a serpentine formation or a double helix formation, what some have called the string of pearls. Now, if this satellite image has indeed captured this complex of planets, or the Nemesis system, then the notion that it has entered our inner solar system, as Marshall Masters and Major Ed Dames and other Nibiru researchers are now claiming, then this could be very well true. Once the system crosses the ecliptic plane, its movement will be more rapid and it will become more visible in both the daylight and the evening sky. On September 2nd, an incredible video capture of the blue Kachina was recorded in the evening sky. Take a look at these extraordinary images seen from a distance and then enlarged. This fits the description of the blue star as described by the Hopi tribe. Now take a look at the image once again in this photo. To the right is the actual object that was observed. But if you look at the ancient inscription to the left, you will notice how remarkably similar the circled inscription is to the formation of the observed object. These images are absolutely astonishing and irrefutably undeniable. Finally, I wanted to share this September 14th video captured by a skywatcher that actually considers himself to be a diehard skeptic of Planet X. He says that after viewing what he captured outside on video on a moonlight night, he has to admit that there is something out there that he cannot explain away. Furthermore, he says that the object appears to be moving slowly towards us. Now, obviously, what he has picked up cannot possibly be as close as between the Earth and the Moon. But what he has captured certainly resembles a planet. And if you look closely at the movement of the clouds in the background, you will notice that they pass in front of this very large entity. So, folks, there are some very strange things appearing in the heavens, which we just cannot explain. Images of this incoming system are becoming more prevalent each passing day. And it's up to each of us to be more vigilant and observant in the days ahead. Whatever is happening now is an ominous sign, a warning of what is coming our way. These signs are given to us so that we may warn others of the dangers that lie ahead, so that we may gain the courage and the fortitude to prepare ourselves both mentally and physically for what lies in wait.